Hi there, today we're going to discuss unit rates. Objectives and standards. Today we're going to find unit rates and we're going to compare and use unit rates to solve problems. We're going to compute unit rates associated with ratios and fractions, including ratios of lengths, areas, and other quantities measured in like or different units. Vocabulary you're going to need to know for today is rate and unit rate. A rate is a ratio of two quantities having different kinds of units. So for example, 30 miles over 2 hours. They're two different units. A unit rate is a rate with a denominator of 1. So if we're going to change a rate to a unit rate, we have to divide the numerator by the denominator. So 30 over 2, we're going to divide the numerator and denominator by the denominator, which is 2. So 30 divided by 2 is 15. 2 divided by 2 is 1 hour. That gives us our denominator of 1. How to make a unit rate. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the ratio. Whatever you want 1 of must be the denominator. And then you're going to divide the numerator and denominator by the denominator. This is going to create the denominator to be 1. So for my first example, I have express each rate as a unit rate. Round to the nearest tenth if necessary. So we have $11 for 4 boxes of cereal. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the ratio of 11 boxes over 4 boxes because we want 1 box, the price of 1 box, so the boxes are going to go on the bottom. So we're going to divide the numerator and denominator by the denominator, which is 4. So we should get $2.75 per box. So the cost is $2.75 per box of cereal. Example B is 400 miles on 14 gallons of gasoline. So what we're looking for is just for 1 gallon of gasoline. So the gallons are going to go on the denominator. So we're going to write the rate that compares the number of miles to the number of gallons. So 400 miles over 14 gallons. We're going to divide the numerator and denominator by 14. And we should get 28.6 miles for 1 gallon. So the car traveled 28.6 miles per gallon of gasoline. How to compare unit rates. To find the unit, first you have to find the unit rate for each given situation. So if they give you 3 things to compare, you have to find 3 unit rates. Same thing if there's 2 things to compare or 5. And then the last thing you're just going to do is compare the numbers. So my first example is an online music store sells 15 songs for $12. Another online music store sells 10 songs for $9. So which online store has a lower cost per song? So our first step is to find the unit rates for the 2 different stores. So we have $12 for 15 songs. Again, we're going to divide by the denominator number. So 15 is being divided for numerator and denominator. So this means $0.8, or you can just say 80 cents. And so for 15 songs, the unit rate is 80 cents per song. For the second one, we have $9 for 10 songs. The denominator is 10, so I'm dividing by 10 by the numerator and denominator. So I have $0.9 for 1 song. So for the 10 songs, the unit rate is 90 cents per song. So now we're just going to compare the unit rates. Since 80 cents is less than 90 cents, the first store has the better rate per song. Another example is a 12-ounce bottle of cleaner costs $4.50. A 16-ounce bottle of cleaner costs $6.56. Which costs less per ounce? Explain. So here we have two bottles of cleaners, and so we have to find 2 unit rates before we start comparing. So I'm going to set up the ratio of cost over ounces because we want the cost per ounce. So the first store is $4.50 for 12 ounces, and that simplifies down to 38 cents each ounce. The second one is $6.56 for 16 ounces, and if I'm going to divide by 16 to the numerator and denominator, I should get 41 cents per ounce. So the 12-ounce bottle of cleaner costs less per ounce. How to find values using unit rates. So in this kind of situation, they're going to give you a rate and they're going to want you to predict either a future value or a greater value or a less value. So the first thing we have to do is we have to find the unit rate. And the second thing we're going to do is multiply that unit rate by the value you want to find. So for number 3, a typical bottlenose dolphin will take about 34 breaths in 4 hours. How many breaths will a bottlenose dolphin take in 7 hours? So they gave you this rate, 34 breaths in 4 hours, and they want you to take this and predict how much it's going to take in 7 hours. So our first step is to find the unit rate. So 34 breaths in 4 hours is 34 over 4. We're going to divide by the denominator. So in 1 hour, the bottlenose dolphin takes 8.5 breaths. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply this unit rate of 8.5 breaths per hour and multiply it by 7 because we want to know not for 1 hour but 7. So 8.5 breaths for 1 hour times 7 hours, that equals 59.5 breaths. So a bottlenose dolphin will take 59.5 breaths in 7 hours. Another example here, a snail moved 5 feet in 2 hours. At this rate, how many feet will the snail move in 5 hours? So here your rate that was given was 5 feet in 2 hours. They want you to predict how many is going to be in 5 hours. So I'm going to set up my unit rate, so 5 feet for 2 hours. My unit rate for a denominator of 1 is 2.5 feet in 1 hour. So if he only travels for just 1 hour, it's 2.5 feet. Now I'm going to use that to predict how many for 7 hours. And I'm going to multiply the 2.5 times 5. That equals 12.5 feet. So the snail is going to move 12.5 feet in 5 hours. Today we found unit rates and we compared and used unit rates to solve problems. I hope that video was helpful. Thank you. Bye.